Hello. Gurvinder, please mute yourself.
Harsing, let's start.
Right, sir. Dear all, a very good morning, all of you. I am audible?
Yes.
Okay, sir. I am Dr. Harsh Singh, Assistant Librarian, Harper Institute of Engineering and Technology, Patiala. Welcome to the second day of 5 days AICT Atal workshop on advances in research support services in academic and research libraries. Today, we have 3 sessions. First session will be taken by Dr. Sriram about extracting literature data from databases. The vote of thanks will be delivered by Ms. Archana Nanda and the chat queries will be managed by Ms. Harpreet Kaur. The second session will be taken by Dr. Sanjay Kataria about research data and information management. The afternoon session will be on electronic resources management by Dr. John Paul Anbu. To moderate the session, we have one of our international guests on board, Dr. Raija Alenzuela. Let me introduce Dr. Raija. Dr. Raija C. Alenzuela is Associate Professor at Central Philippine University, Philippines. She finished her Doctor of Philosophy at the University of Iloilo, Master degree in Library and Information Science from University of the Philippines. Before becoming a full-time academician, she served as the director of Thomas Jefferson Information Center from 2007 to 2012, where she handled 47 networks of academic and public libraries all over the Philippines. Aside from her full-time jobs, she is working to develop local consortia, conducting research in archives, library and information science curriculum development, and disaster preparedness for libraries. She is also one of the pool of accreditors for Philippine Association of Colleges and Universities Commissions on accreditation, overseeing the quality of academic libraries. Let us welcome Dr. Raija. Ma'am, welcome you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Singh, for a very kind introduction. So, good morning, everyone. And again, as your moderator, I'd like to welcome you all to this morning session of the faculty workshop on advances in research support services and academic research libraries, sponsored by the Par Institute of Technology. So without much further ado, one thing that I wanted to notice, as I've mentioned, I am an LIS educator and researcher, and as well as a practicing librarian. I really value data, and these morning sessions are very relevant as our experts will discuss about the multifaceted roles of librarians and scholars as data curators, co-creators, creators, end users, and advocates. So as we all know, data as a primary source of information is very reliable source of evidence in research. Much of this will be discussed by our two pool of experts. So without further ado, let me introduce our first speaker who will discuss, or resource person who will discuss about extraction of literature data from databases and analysis of research. This topic aims to provide us a baseline and working knowledge on a very interesting concept in research. That's literature review, literature survey, scoping review, meta-analysis, archive, and SSRN. Very, very interesting. When I hear these words, I'm really interested in that. But well, anyway, as my task goes, our resource person actually needs no further introduction. It's been the front line of this major event, but as an SOP, I'd like to introduce him, and it's a privilege for me. So he is, as we all know, he's a deputy librarian at TIAT Patiala. He has a PhD in Library and Information Science and has been awarded with Commonwealth Professional Fellowship and ICSSR NRCT Bilateral Fellowship. He has published more than 50 research publications and edited 5 books. I myself is a witness to his scholarly endeavors, his comprehensive and exhaustive scholarship endeavors. He is instrumental as well in implementing various techniques to enhance research support services and academic libraries. You can see that even just in the webpage of the library, of Central Library. You can see the number of activities he has initiated as well at TIAT to support research activities. So without much further ado, it is my privilege to introduce to you my a professional colleague, as well as a collaborator and several publications. No other than Dr. Shri Ram. Dr. Shri, I give you the floor.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Raza. Thank you, Dr. Hasing, and all my colleagues. So, dear participants, indeed, I would like to welcome you all on the second day once again on my behalf. And today we are going to cover one of the very basic task, I can say, and most common activity of the library, where librarians are engaged in such kind of activity which is related to providing the literature. So most of the student, when entering into the library, being a PhD student or master student or faculty members, they often require that I wanted to go for a literature review and or literature survey, and I need some information which help me to prepare my document, prepare my literature survey, and so that I can design my research problem and I can go ahead with my research activity in due course of the time. So this is I visualize is this is one of the most common and frequently asked questions for any librarians who are working in academic and research institutions. So I thought let us include this aspect in our research support services workshop, where we can educate our students and also educate our faculty members and most practicing librarians, so that we can I can share my view how we can help in extracting the data from different databases, and then doing some kind of analysis of the results, so that our literature can become a more pinpointed, and our research problems become more easy to derive through the extraction of the literature from different databases. So in this session, I'm going to cover concept of research life cycle, then what is literature review survey and how it is conceptualized, and what are the sources where the information for the literature survey can be found. Then what is the process of searching literature from the databases, and extraction of the data, and some kind of analysis, including a demo of 2 most comprehensive database, Web of Science and Scopus. And thereafter we can, if you have any questions on me, you can always you are most welcome to raise the questions and issues related to your query through chat box preferably. So at the end of the session, our Dr. Raza and our team will take your questions one by one, and so that we can solve the problems related to your queries. So a few definitions I wanted to say. I'm sure that most of you are well aware about the concept of research. So just to define by Earl Robert Beebe, about research is a systematic inquiry to describe, explain, predict, and control the observed phenomena. So research involves inductive and deductive methods. So we have to perceive that what we want to obtain from the research, and what conclusion we are going to deduce once the research is going to be finished. So it's in a simple way, we are going to have a systematic inquiry about a problem which is involving the description, explanation, prediction, and then we are trying to find out what kind of control we are going to have through our observation into the research activity. So research life cycle, as everyone knows, is there is a 5-step process which involve planning, where we think about a topic, we plan, prepare a literature review plan, then we see if any kind of collaboration we can have with our the peer researchers or peer institutions or peer country where similar research is going on. And also we look for if anything is being funded by any agency, like in India, DBT, CSR, UGC, all agencies generally fund for a project and for a research activity. And also identifying the different methodology to manage our references, like reference management softwares or writing tools related to the grammar and any plagiarism. All these things are need to be well planned before we start research activity. The second step of the research life cycle is the execution. It involves actually how the research activity is going to happen. So which involve the framing of the research questions, conducting the main research activity and collecting out the data from different research activity. And it also involved the analysis of data. So we, as a librarian, we often came across that do you have a software which help in analysis of statistical data or any other data like SPSS and or any other statistical software which is going to be useful for the analysis of data. And then we interpret the result. So interpretation is another important aspect of execution process, where we generally go ahead with a thorough analysis of our results, and we come across the deduction of some of our observations and come to a conclusion. The third step of life cycle is involved the publishing. So most of our research activity landed into the publishing into journal article, publishing as a book chapter, publishing into a conference publications. All these things are well planned, and we have to understand that as a librarian how we are going to help our research scholars or faculty member in writing the manuscript, suggesting the journal, which journal they are going to publish their research article, or if they want to publish in some conferences, then we must inform them what kind of related conferences, either national level or international level, are being organized at different places. Or if they are planning to write a book after their research activity, we should able to connect a specific publisher who who publishes such kind of research in the form of books. So we are able to connect our authors to the publisher so that they can prepare a plan for publishing the research in the form of books. And then maybe also if they have some plan like writing a chapter, so we must have some kind of information about which are the call for chapters proposals are currently live, so that faculty may publish their research into publication as a form of book chapter. Then another most important aspect is dissemination. So dissemination basically is once the research is published or finished, so we need to preserve those results or data into a preservation platform. So we must have some kind of guidance to our researchers, faculty members, so that they can have good knowledge about how to preserve the post-research data in different platforms. So we are going to have a beautiful session by Dr. Sanjay Kataria after this, and he is going to tell us more about how to deal with the preservation of research data after post-research activity. Then we can also share the information about how to create a metadata, how to preserve into our research activity in the form of digital repository. All these things are the key role of librarian or library in research life cycle. And thereafter, the impact analysis, that is most important part of the research life cycle. And impact assessment, maybe in terms of citation analysis, maybe in terms of patents publication, maybe in terms of altmetric analysis. All these things are now becoming crucial for the assessment of the research activity in the campus or by the faculty or by research scholars. So how many papers are being downloaded or being cited, and from where these, on which platform these are being mostly used. And all these things are now going to be important role by the librarian. So we need to understand this research life cycle process, and then we have to strengthen our activity so that we can extend our research support services activity to the end users. Then the literature is one of the common terminology. What is literature is? The literature is something which comprises a body of written work. And this basically it is everywhere we find some or other kind of literature. So whether it is a newspaper or either magazines or journals, whatever, everywhere the literature, every form is making a literature. And this term is used to describe the written or spoken material. Broadly speaking, is to describe anything from the creative writing to more technical or scientific work. But the term is most commonly used to refer the works of the creative imaginations, including the works of poetry, drama, fiction, and non-fiction. All these things is a part of the literature. So I think whatever is available in written and spoken form, we consider it as a literature work. Then another terminology is the literature search. So literature search basically is to look for the documents to collect the works in the form of published literature of scholars who have addressed your research questions. So if I have any problem in my mind, so I'll try to find out, is there anything already published in any form, either journal article or book chapter or a book, and which is available with some publishers or some indexed by some databases. That is that make the part of the literature searching. So this is very important, that anything, if you want to know that if you have any concept in your mind, and that must be assessed with the help of prior publication, which if anything available in public domain, or if anything available in any databases, or if anything available in published form like a chapter or a book or journal article or conference paper. So that make finding out such kind of information makes the component of literature searching. So then another terminology comes, the literature review. So literature review is basically a systematic, explicit, and reproducible method for identifying, evaluating, and synthesizing the existing body of completed and recorded work produced by researchers, scholars, and practitioners. So this is a very important and very comprehensive definition of literature review given by Fink, which you can see that all the highlighted colored word gives the complete illustration what is the literature review is. So we have to understand that whenever we are going to terminology literature review, we have to see that whether it is a systematic and it is having explicit knowledge depiction, and then it has been reproduced in terms of identifying, evaluating, and synthesizing the existing body of knowledge. So it's very simple definition given by Fink, which describe the concept of the literature review. Sorry. Then why we conduct a literature review? So the literature review basically we conduct for the finding that whether anything has been reproduced as mind numbering list of citations like PhoneView. So whenever we go to see anything which is published, we try to find out the list of publications. It is something like a phone book. So we just try to find out if any authors have published on any topic. we go to index and find out that index of a book and find out that if anything is available in what kind of activity has been indexed in this in a book or in a chapter, and the references which had been listed at end of the any article. So based on that, we try to find out what kind of literature or what kind of information which has been already published that help us to making some kind of decision based on available evidences. So this is one of the very important aspect why we do literature review. So we try to find out that what is has been already published and indexed, like a telephone number. Then we also try to find out the whole truth rather than just part of it. So once you go for any literature review, we generally don't try to find out 4 or 5 references on a particular topic. We try to find out what all the document which have been published on a particular topic. So we try to find out the whole truth about a topic, not a certain part of topic which have been listed in the form of literature references or bibliography. We try to why we do literature review, we try to synthesize in a such way to find out what has been done and what need to be done. So it's like something we try to make a link between 2 different concepts. So something, if anything is already there, and we try to find out is there any gap between 2 concepts or between whatever the research problem we are having. If some gap is there, then we try to fill up with the further research, and then it is going to become and this, in this way it has become important to have a literature review. Then identifying gap in the knowledge and give answer to specific research questions. This is also very important to part of the literature review. We try to find out different data, different literature published into different area on a given, published in a different media in a given topic, and try to filter out at one place, and then try to see if any gap in the knowledge is there, and then we try to answer some of the specific question related to the topic. Then we also try to find out if there are pro and cons exist on a program or policy or technique. So this through literature review, we are able to see that if any methodology has been already proposed, what kind of gaps it has, or what kind of pro benefits it have, and what kind of benefit, what kind of activity has been not covered in that methodology. All these things are possible through literature review. Then finally, the identifying the problem and then go for the research question. So after going all this thorough literature review, we come to a conclusion that anything which has been not covered through this literature review, and then it makes a part of research questions for our research activity. So we generally at the end of the literature review, we generally address a line that after going all through the literature review, it has been found that there is a gap between theory and practice, and through this study we are trying to fill up those gap in our further research activity. So this is how this is why literature review is going to be important, and it's play a very important role in identifying the problem and then framing the research question. So on this way, we are able to identify our research problem, and then it makes our task easy to go ahead with the research activity. Then there are different important part of the literature. There's the importance of good literature review, where we have to we try to identify some of the basic information about activities, and how this literature review is going to help us in identifying our problem is something like a literature review maybe consist of simple or summary of the key resources. So when we are going to do our literature review, we try to find out whether it is a simple summary, or if we provide some of the elaborated answer to a particular problem. But in case of social sciences, we have to identify that the organizational pattern, and combining both the summary and synthesis. Then after we are going to have a specific conceptual categories. So it also provide a summary in the form of recapping the important information of the source, and also giving the reorganization, reshuffling of the information that help us planning of our future research problem. Then it also gives us a new interpretation of the old material, combining new with the old interpretations. It also helps in tracing the intellectual progression of the field, including major debates. It also gives the situational dependency, where you evaluate the sources and advise the reader on the which is the most pertinent literature which we are going to refer for your literature review. It also gives us the relevancy of the research, or usually in the conclusion of the literature review, we are identifying the gaps that exist in how the problem has been researched to date. So all these important parameters are going to help us to. So we are in the session, no? So please log in with the system. I'm in the session, sir. You put your password. We have registered, no? Okay. Sorry. So I'm also handling the participants' query. So also the purpose of good literature review is going to place each work in context of its contribution to understanding the research problem in study. So purpose of good literature review, we are trying to find out the context and contribution, so that we can understand that what kind of problem has already been studied. It also describes the relationship of each work to the other under consideration. Suppose we are going for a research problem, we have to understand that what kind of relationship exists through already published literature. Then identifying the new ways to interpret our prior research. So here we try to find out whether it is something is already have been discussed, and whether we are going to use the same one, or we are going to identify or going to use new ways to interpretation of the earlier research activity. Sometimes if you have some data, and thereafter once you conduct your own research using different method, you find some better result than previous one. So this is how it is. The literature review is going to help you to identifying the new ways of interpretation. Then it is also help. The purpose is to reveal any gap that exists in the literature. That is the most important aspect, where we are going to see that once we able to establish the research gap, we start our research problem, resolving the conflict among the seemingly contradictory previous study. So literature review, purpose of literature review is any conflict of interest is happening, or conflict among the similar kind of activity is there, then we can analyze the methodology, we can analyze the process or purpose, and then we try to resolve the conflict. Then identifying areas of prior scholarship to prevent duplication of that is another important aspect of good literature review. So suppose you started a work, and thereafter you came across that this work is already published in the form of journal articles. So it is going to be a frustration. So it is better to have a very good literature review before framing the problem and going for the further research. Point the way in fulfilling the need of additional research. Suppose you go for, like in today's scenario, coronavirus vaccines are not available. So this is going to be very, very important, that if anything is already exists or any literature is already exists, then it is going to help us, help the scientists to go for the additional research. look at your own research within the context of existing literature. This is very, very important topic. This is very, very important purpose of good literature review. So if you have any concept in your mind and you want to do some kind of, you want to start your research activity, then you have to understand that whether some existing literature there or not in the about the concept you are going to take up for your research activity. So good literature review provide very comprehensive information where you are going to cover all these things, where it is going to help you all these things, and then you come across with your literature review context. Then type of literature review. So it is classified in three. One is focus literature review, which summarize a topic on broad in nature. It is qualitative. It does not define what type of study is included. Then is a systematic review, which answer the specific clinical questions, define a specific research strategy. And another form is meta-analysis, where it is combine the results and data, and then it is being tested with the statistical tool to find the significance between the two results. So these three things we are going to have some kind of description on types. So focus literature review is basically traditional review, where it's generally descriptive and often indicated in the article title. Like if you read an article title like a review of xenophobia prevalence in youth, so you will find that it itself says that it is a type of literature review. It summarizes a topic which is broad in nature. So it just gives what kind of research has already been taken up, and it gives a summary of all those research. It does not define what type of study included. Means sometimes you just go through and you do not find out what methodology, what techniques is used by that particular literature which has been already published. And it also refers to a quantitative. So lot of number is given there, where you find out the references which is included in the conclusion. Just a second, sir. Hello. Sir, good morning. Yes, sir. So this type of literature traditional review is often based on the personal selections of material, because of the writer believe that original authors have some important contribution to make to current authors. So generally authors as an author or as a writer of the article, we select some selected material and then we include in the literature review processes. Then systematic review is going to answer the very specific clinical questions, where its aim is to comprehensively locate and synthesize research that bears on a particular question, using organized, transparent, and replicable procedures at each step in the process. So it is very, very comprehensive form of literature review which answer the specific questions. The good systematic review takes ample precautions to minimize errors and bias. So it covers a lot of precautions, where we try to find out it should not be having any biasness toward the result, or it should not having the errors in the process, or in data calculation or any other thing. The systematic review follows a protocol, detailed plan that specifies central objectives, concept, and method in advance. So it has a flow chart where you have to define clearly that what step you are going to follow, what is your inclusion exclusion criteria, and thereafter you go for some decision and carefully documented processes. So in this process, you come to a conclusion that what has already been done, what is lacking, and what is to be included, what is to be excluded. All these things are well defined, and a review process go according to those plans. And it also have a defined specific search strategy. So that's why I thought this topic is going to be very important, where we train our faculty member or research scholar that if they are going for any kind of literature review or any kind of systematic review or meta-analysis, understanding about different concept, understanding about the knowledge about the databases, knowledge about the search process, all these things are very, very important, so that our librarian can help the research scholar or faculty member, and also the faculty or research scholar may be aware about how library can help in their research activity when they are going for any research literature review process, or they are going to frame their problem for their PhD thesis or article writing. Then meta-analysis is another form of literature review, which is a type of systematic review which combines the result and data analysis in done with the statistical tool to find out some statistical significance testing. So for example, in this picture, you see that there is a study B, which has been analyzed for the study E, study A, study D, or study C. So if you go ahead with what kind of data is already available into this published literature, and if you want to compare the study B and find out if there is any analysis has been given based on certain statistical tool, and then we test that whether whatever result produced in those study, it is giving going to give some kind of significance result about the study B which you are going to take up. So based on that, meta-analysis is going to help you to analyze the results, and then say that whatever study has already been done is having some kind of lacking, and then you can propose that using this method or using different method, the result can be better, which is already published in different, as compared to the result which have been already published in different literature. So meta-analysis is a set of statistical method for combining quantitative results from multiple study to produce an overall summary of empirical knowledge on a given topic. So summarizing that, you are going to study different study already happened, and then you are going to summarize the result of that topic into in a different projects. It is also analyze the central trends and variations in the result across the study and correct the errors and bias in the body of research. So something is already there, and if your result is giving better results, then you can say that you can correct those things and find out that those variations can be avoided using this method. Then result of the original study usually are converted to one or more common matrices called effect sizes, which are then combined across the study. So we try to find out if something is already there, we try to find out the different matrices and cause and effect activity, and then combine into one study. This allows us to synthesize result from study that different measures and some construct to report the result in different way. So we try to interpret result indifferently. So this give a better idea, and we try to find out that the result which is coming after analysis of after meta-analysis, you can frame your problem to future research activity. So developmental stages for the literature review. One is the problem formulations, another is literature search, data evaluation, and analysis and interpretation. So at each step, librarian's role is going to be important. So one scholar coming, when they start their problem formulation, they need some kind of literature analysis. So there we can help them to suggest that these are the databases, these are the books, these are the journals, which publishes related article on your topic, and you can find out to analyze those things to formulate your problem. Then helping in literature searching, so finding material relevant to the subject. Then data evaluation, so if they required some kind of data evaluation technique like any Likert scale or any other survey methods, all these things need to be clearly understood, and then literature pertaining to those things going to be a play a significant contribution. Then analysis and interpretation, so this is basically the bibliometric analysis, and also helping them to understand that how they can use or interpret the data which is available into different literature. So we are going to have this one important aspect, the defining the scope. So once the scope is defined, it is going to let you reach the destination, but we have to think about how we are actually to get there. So there are three components. One is who. So who is this? Who is the research question about? Then what is related to what must researchers find out to answer the questions, and then how will be the study of impact on the who. So all these three impact are going to help you to define the scope, because literature analysis is so huge, a literature review is so huge, once you deep dive into, you will be bewildered, you will be lost into the sea of knowledge. So understanding about the focus area and formulation of problem is going to actually help you to reach a pinpointed step where our role is going to be important. Then topic formulation, where we have a central questions, hypothesis, objective. Then overall study design, where we specify the problem, population, setting, interventions, outcome, and interest, specify the study inclusion and exclusion criteria. Then sampling, developing a sampling plan. Then data collections, which is derived from the different databases. Then data analysis, descriptive data analysis, and then reporting the plan into the form of tables or figures. So all these steps are going to be important, and as a librarian, we can help them to understand that how they can go ahead with these steps at their research plans. So the literature search, we now come to our specific focus, the literature search. This literature search is basically, we generally go with the internet. So different browsers are there. We generally put a keyword into the internet and try to find out what kind of information we want from the internet. So from where do we find information? This one of the most common sought after is the searching the internet. So Michelle Kapoor said that the getting information of the internet is like taking a drink from a fire hydrant. So internet is having huge information being indexed every second of the time. So we try to find out if a pertinent information from internet, it is going to be something very, very difficult, like what he said that drinking a water from the hydrant. So it is a huge information explosion on the internet, and there is over 3.5 billion Google searches are being conducted worldwide each minute of every day. That is over 40,000 search queries per second. So you can imagine that how much information is available, and people are searching Google to find out information over the internet. Then information overload. This is another big problem from the internet, that everybody is overloaded by the information. Finding pertinent information for a particular research problem is very, very difficult. Then information literacy. This is another very important aspect where we should, as a librarian, we should also become information literate and making others about information literate. So which one is the right source of information, like Ranganathan? So right source of right information to right person at right time of the need is very, very important. So informing the people with the right source of information at right time is going to be very, very important role of ours, so that we can provide pinpointed information to our users. So basically our role, so for everything, we have to assume that our user is going to come to the library to find out the information which is going to be useful for them for their literature activity. So for the literature searching, we are going to have a quick search. Sometimes generally we do a quick search, putting the keywords into the search box and finding out the what kind of information is already available, and then determine the database, then identifying the key term and developing search studies. So this is first stage. Then at stage 2, try to conduct searching specialized databases with the keywords, identifying some gray literature if there, to find out the appropriate search strategy is the second stage of research. In third stage, we try to find out bibliography, searching the bibliography, that is basically the Perl mining, where we are searching a reference list of all the studies, and then we try to identify some key citations most close to our research problem, and then we also try to find out the key journals in which is related to our research problem. Then at stage 4, we try to verify. So checking with the indexing terms, if anything is not missed out, then if something missed, then we revise our search strategy. And then if not possible by the scholars, then we contact some experts to determine whether all the keywords have been used correctly and the relevant paper have been found. Then in stage 5, we try to document all those search query into through using a tool like Mendeley, or saving into Excel form, or saving into different other formats, so that we can keep on using those references for our research activity. So these are the quick stages. These are the stages of literature search, where we from initial searching to documentation, we follow these steps so that our research job become easy, and we are able to provide right information for a particular research problem. So this is sources. We generally do search using Web of Science, that is a multidisciplinary database. We also look for Scopus, another multidisciplinary database. We also go for PubMed if you are working into the medicine and biological sciences, or generally we go for EBSCOhost if you are if your researcher is from business and management. So these are the some of the common major databases which covers the different subject area. Along with that, Biosys is there, Inspect, Chemical Abstract, Abstract, EconLit, PsycInfo, MathSciNet. All these subject-specific databases are there. And suppose if you are going to find out what are the theses available in the particular subject area, we go for some thesis databases like NDLTD, Shodhganga, ProQuest Dissertation and Thesis, or Ethos. So Ethos is Australian database for the thesis and dissertation. So these are the sources of literature analysis, and we try to go ahead with using these databases for different literature surveys and literature reviews for a specific for a multidisciplinary subject areas. So Web of Science this is very comprehensive database of multidisciplinary nature, having indexing of more than 12,000 journals. It most widely used citation database globally, which gives you information about published literatures and all these things. And then we have impact assessment in terms of citation, H-index, impact factor, journal, citation report. All these things are possible. It is most trusted resource for literature review. So anyone who is going for formulation of a research problem must use these databases for conducting the literature review. It covers the potential collaboration, impactful journals. All these things are possible through Web of Science. It is also useful in performance evaluation and ranking. Similar, this is just Web of Science platform, which gives options for basic search, author search, cited reference search, advanced searching, and all the searching is available through topical, title, author, publication name, chronological limitations. If you want to put all these things are possible through Web of Science. Advanced search features gives you liberty to use different operators where you want to restrict your search within a very narrow, where you want to narrow your search results, search criteria with topics and using different operators so that you reach to a specific literature review plans. It gives a lot of information once you go on the page, which provide the listing of the references. It gives the abstract, it gives the full text link, it gives the citation count, it gives the analysis options where we analyze the results in terms of different bibliometrics parameters, and also we can create citation report for a set of references for the purpose of analysis of impact by institutions, authors, and any other criteria which you require for that. Similarly, Scopus is another multidisciplinary large database. Abstracting and citation database is maintained by Elsevier, having more than 40,000 publications. Then it has covering multidisciplinary subjects of life sciences, social sciences, physical sciences, health sciences. It is covering the journals, books, conference proceedings, patents. It is providing the facility of searching by the abstract, citation, H-index, matrices, patent. All these things are possible through Web of Science, and it is available on scopus.com. So this is basic search page of Scopus, where you find the 4 parameters in document search, basically the title, then author search, and also search by affiliation. And document is search basically related to the article, abstract, and keywords. It also provides the searching of different authors, title, and other things. Advanced search features provide entering the query using different Boolean operators, and you can use different combinations to reduce your literature related to very, very specific or narrowing the research query. Similarly, PubMed, it is another most comprehensive database from US National Library of Medicine related to the having the 30 million citations from biomedical literature. Then it is having citation abstract in the field of biomedicine, covering the portion of life sciences, behavioral sciences, chemical sciences, bioengineering. It is a free resource of NCBI NLM of NIH. It is having full text coverage also, where you can submit your citation and then provide full text access available from the articles from its journal homepage. So this homepage, so it's providing basic search and other search query builders on PubMed. So you can try yourself. Then EBSCOhost related to business source and having the full text content from business journals related to business studies. Then it covers the marketing, management, accounting, banking, finance, and many other subjects which are correlated with the finance or management area. It is also providing you the search facility of about abstract, full text, newspapers, case study, video, and many other things are possible through it. It gives a lot of personalized services where you can search, retrieve, save, export, print, list, and comments. And then this is the homepage, very simple homepage, giving the basic search option, advanced search option. You can choose your search history. All these things are possible through EBSCO search interface. This is the advanced search features. Then coming to the most commonly used Google. So it is advisable that Google is not, it is a poor choice for serious research questions such as clinical queries, bibliography reviews, comprehensive literature searches, or any other requires most sophisticated approach. Because Google search is based on the crawling and indexing of the different choice of the different searches made by different scholars. So it is rather than using Google, it is advisable to use Google Scholar, which is time saver for the quick searches in useful tool and to help researcher to locate different information in very quickly seconds. So I'm just giving a snapshot because we have another expert to speak about how to use different search strategy using Google Scholar and Google tools. So I'm just giving a snapshot. It also give you limiting your search by time period and also including patents and citation, all these things, and also giving the source for the full text searching. So all these things are possible through Google Scholar. So I'm just skipping it because Dr. Sriram is going to have a very comprehensive session on these points. Then another important source of data is the searching the publisher site like SciDirect. So rather than going into the databases, you can also use the platform of publishers to search and retrieve different information from the publisher site as well. So other data sources are like arXiv, which is free publication and having the open access archive. This much scholarly article in the field of physics, mathematics, computer science, quantitative biology, quantitative finance, statistics, electrical engineering, system science. All these things are possible through arXiv.org. You have to find out the information, full text articles, and it is possible to retrieve the data from the arXiv.org as well. So this is maintained by Cornell University, and you can find out the huge amount of literature is being indexed by arXiv, so that you can find out the most pertinent information or data related to a subject area, which is going to be useful for literature review as well. Then Social Science Research Network is another e-library portal which provide almost about research paper related to 9 lakh and above papers, and there's a huge network of people associated with SSRN, and it covers about 55 disciplines. So you can find out the platform where ssrn.com, and it also gives different rankings by authors, by institutions, by country. So huge number of information available on this platform. So you can go ahead with the finding very specific related to the social science related area. So how to conduct a search, as we discussed that earlier. So conducting search required using free text. You are just putting any keyword into the search box and giving the result. Then using thesaurus like medical subject heading, using Boolean operators. This is another important criteria to select to fetch the literature on a specific topic. Then using proximity search, which is another proximity operators, which gives relevant information. Then searching by author, searching by title, searching by publication name, or searching by time bound literature is are quite common and being helpful for the fetching the literature from different databases. Then we can combine all these things independently or in combination as advanced search features and try to retrieve the data for literature review. The search strategy involving, I'm just giving an example about coronavirus, how different search strategy is going to useful to retrieve the data from different databases. For example, the coronavirus, I just conducted this search a few days back and found that 13,431 articles have been already published on the topic. This search was based on the Web of Science on the topic coronavirus. So once I combine looking at from where the coronavirus had originated, because it's a big debate that it has been started from Wuhan, China province, Wuhan province of the China. So I found that there are 2979 literature. Then also there was a query that why Italy is most affected. Initially, Italy was most affected part of the world with the coronavirus. So I conducted a search and found that there are 412 articles published from Italy. Then I combine whether some kind of relationship exists between both China and Italy. I found that there are 20 articles published in collaboration with the China and Italy. Then further, I wanted to see that if it is going to impact the economy. So I found that there are two articles. So please note that this is how we are going to reach a conclusion that how researchers are going to take up a research problem based on the search strategy we are going to propose for the we are going to retrieve the data from the literature databases, and then accordingly we can decide whether any research scholar can take up the research problem for future study or not. So starting from 13,000 article, we went to 2979, then 412, then 20, and then we come to that there is a economic impact, and based on that any scholar can go ahead with this topic. Okay, so then again I found conducted another search if any vaccines have been vaccines related publication already there or not. So we again conducted a search and found that there are 543 articles which have been already published from China which are related to the vaccine. Then further refined the publication based on the countries using the Italy, and I found that 45 articles have been published which was related to the vaccine and came out from the Italy region. So likewise, we can have our search strategy and come to a conclusion, and then thereafter we can decide the research problem. So let's take another example. So I have taken another example on legal aspect of economic conditions. So that was a free search, and thereafter I went to a specific search query on the topic legal aspect of economic condition of women in workplace. So I conducted search on women workplace using the Boolean operators and proximity searches and all these things come in combination with different Boolean operators, and found that 6870 articles have been already published. Then I went to another terminology from the title economic, and I found that there are 271 articles which have been published. Then further refine that articles related to the legal aspects. So like legal aspect is there, so we found that there are 17 articles are there on legal aspect. So reviewing 17 article is much easier than reviewing 6313 article or 6870 article or 271 article. So this is how we can plan our search strategy so that we can reach to a specific research problem, and the proper search strategy, proper literature review is going to help you to frame your research problem for the future research. Then sometimes we need to verify whether all these data which have been retrieved from there are actually useful or not. So we have to go for the verification. So verification may be consultation from the expert. Either we ask our faculty member or our supervisor or any other person who can assist us in judging the importance of the references, that these are the right references which is going to be useful for your literature review. And also indexing and revision. So suppose if something is missed out from the relevant articles, we have to consider is revising. Either our search strategy must be changes or our database must be changes so that we can find out the correct information. And most importantly, there is a big task among librarians to educate our users for the purpose of analysis and for the purpose of finding the databases, understanding research search techniques, and then deciding whether the important data which have been retrieved from different data sources are going to be useful or not. So this is how we are going to. Then documentation is another important, which I have given earlier. So understanding about how much information and from where it has come, what kind of strategy, and how much references you require to be documented. So using the reference management software is going to be very, very important in systematic way to organize the references. So we are going to have another session on reference management. So I'm just putting throw on these references from various sources, inserting, import, export as possible, generating bibliography is possible, formatting is very, very easy using reference management, using different citations styles provided by the publishers. This is Scopus referencing. So you can export all the information to Mendeley. Then from Web of Science, there is option to export data into EndNote, EndNote Online, any other format which is required by the article itself. We can export the data. So we are going to have a very comprehensive lecture on reference management by one of our famous colleague from NIT Rourkela, Mr. D.P. Tripathi. So creating account on databases, this is very, very important. So I suggest everyone to use this option for the databases where you can save your searches. Like I have created my login and I can find out whatever searches I have conducted and I have saved. It is already available with my profile, and anytime, anywhere I can use this option to retrieve the data once again from the platform itself. So you can save it, and also you can search so that you can find out the most updated information about your earlier search query. So you get updated information from Web of Science. Then the last category is the analysis, where the bibliometrics is going to be very important, going to play a very important role in analysis of data using bibliometric material. So if you want to analyze who are the key authors, which are the key institutions, which are the key countries, or which are the most cited paper, all these things are possible using bibliometrics techniques, so that you can use this platform, this methodology to analyze the data which have been useful for your literature review, or you can make decision that which article to be read, and you can make decision for your future collaboration or future project funding. All these things are possible using bibliometric method. So generally it is two types. One is quantitative and another is qualitative. You can analyze by annual growth, authors, institutions, country, journal, and some kind of research impact in terms of citation and other things. Though maybe by annual growth, journals, authors, institution, country, is maybe total publication, percent share, citation pattern, average citation, authorship pattern. All these things are possible through bibliometric analysis. For a specific journal, we generally look for which journals is producing most number of articles, what is the impact factor of that journal, and it is also helping is selection of journal for publishing. So once you have prepared your manuscript and you want to publish that, and a bibliometric analysis is going to help you to select that proper journal which is publishing most number of paper on the related topic. Then you can also analyze the author's productivity, which is related to the productive authors, citations, collaborations, co-authorship, H-index. All these things are possible through bibliometric analysis. Then also related to the institutions, you can find out which are the institutions where most number of researchers are working on a particular topic. You can see that what are the citation standards, citation for papers, international collaboration, productive institutions which are again collaborated with a particular institute. And also then you can apply for postdoc and any other things are possible through this kind of analysis. Again, for the countries, similar kind of analysis can be carried out. So maybe for a step of analysis, maybe you can choose your topic and objective, then go for research design, then start collecting data, then you choose a methodology, then you analyze the results, and then interpret the findings. All these are the very basic steps, and following these steps is going to make your research work very easy and very, very comfortable, so that you can have. So this is what some background on fetching the literature from literature databases. So I'll just run through the, I have, it's 11:12 now. So I have another 8 minutes, and within 8 minutes, I just saw two platforms. One is the Web of Science, one of the most popular database for any kind of literature review. I just give you the overview, the basic search, author search, cited reference search, advanced search. So under basic search, you will find the topic. So topic include the keywords which is appearing in title, abstract, author keywords, and keyword plus. Then title is the article after title. Author, it is related to the authors or group of authors. Then publication is the source title where the articles are being published. Year, funding agency, organization enhancements, from where affiliation of the authors. All these things are available. Author search is basically now Web of Science has introduced this option to search by authors. So you can put last name, first name, and then you can select the institution to find out the author relationship with the particular affiliation. And also it giving the options to use researcher's ID and an artist ID to find out the particular author. Then cited reference search is basically the searching of the bibliography. Suppose if any author has been cited, it is cited authors, cited works, citation DOI, cited year. All these things are possible through cited reference search. And then advanced search using different topics. So these are the tags, field tags, and these are the Boolean keywords, which Boolean operators, which can be used to combine these. Either you can, these can be used independently or in combination with Boolean operator, gives you the quite right research results, which is going to be helpful for literature review. So I just go ahead with the basic search where I put coronavirus. So I'm not using any Boolean operator. I'm just using title, where all the title where coronavirus keyword is appearing. I'm conducting a search. And I found that you can see that when I planned this PPT, it was around 4,000 plus article. Now it is 11,299 articles. The article which I had published was something having around 6,000 article on coronavirus. So you can see how fast growing is the coronavirus research across the globe. So result is giving here. You can find out this is your syntax where it is having all the years, papers index in SCI expanded and SSCI and ANHCI. All these databases it has in search, and it is also giving the open access article information. So most of the article are open access. It is also giving the annual contributions, in which year these articles have been published, and also it gives the Web of Science category, it gives the document type, it gives the institutions from where these articles have been published, which are the funding agency who have funded the projects under which the articles have been published, who are the key authors from who have published most number of paper on the coronavirus title, then source of from where these articles have been published. So journal titles, and all these options are available. You can use this. And in the center, you will find the details of the article listed one by one. And on right panel, you will find the different citation reports. It provides, generally citation reports are available for around less than 10,000 items. So it is having more than 10,000 articles. So citation report is not available here. So, but otherwise you can get the citation report by limiting the different parameters and institutions, authors, country, all these things. So once you go ahead with the article details, you will find the complete information. And this abstract is going to help you in judging that whether this article is going to helpful for you for your research activity or not. So suppose after reading this article, you find that there's something similar item has been similar things have been published, so you can keep on adding into the mark list. So I put this article as in my mark list, and then I further I once again I go back to the listing, and then I found that there is another article. So suppose my area is tourism, I can start adding this article into my mark list. Or if my area is something country specific, then I will uh, go back to the analysis, and I go back to the country, and then I choose whether it is country specific data or not. I just choose India and limit my results into related to the India. Then further I can go ahead. If anything is available on tourism, I can do it by selecting this one article is already there on tourism. So again I going to add into the mark list, and I found that there are two articles in mark list, and I go to the mark list and create a citation report. I'll put a citation report here, and I found that there is no H index, there is no citation, nothing is there. So this article is actually not highly appreciable, but still these are the research which have been taken on the particular research activity. So likewise, we can conduct all these thing into this thing. So this is how we analyze the data for different activities. We can also go ahead with the publication year. So you find that the data which have been published across the year. Then you can analyze the document type here. You can analyze the institutions. And then all these things are possible by authors. You can select if any authors is there, and find out the data which is related to the so all these things are possible using Web of Science, and you can derive all this information and then decide whether it is going to be useful for your research activity or not. And then again exporting the data into different bibliographic software. So it is giving export into EndNote. You can export into Excel, you can export into Refer, Paint, email. All these things can be possible through these things. So you can also time cited. You can analyze which article has been most cited on coronavirus. You can change the pattern using these things. So this is how is the result from Web of Science. And just quickly go into the Scopus. I just choose another term, another keyword into same keyword into the coronavirus, and then try to find out the results, how it looked like. So you can see that coronavirus result is here. It is coronavirus. It is getting 71,700. So huge amount of research article which have already published on these things. So this such kind of differences is because of the indexing of journals. So Web of Science indexes only around 12,000 journals, 1,000 source, and however Scopus indexes around 40,000 sources. So that's why you can see the huge number of differences. You can analyze the result here in terms of again by annual count. You can see the spike in the number of publications. Then you can by document by author, you can by affiliation, you can see that country, output. You can see the document type, and also see the subject area. Likewise, you can see the institution, funding and sponsors. All these things are possible through these things. So by National Institute of Health, I wanted to see how much articles, what kind of impact it has. So I just chose in that concept and then go to citation overview and find out that this is the citation pattern of National Institute of Health, NIH. So you can see that the most cited article from NIH, which H-index and the citation pattern, and these are the articles which contain the citation status. You can filter out in terms of citation count. So you can find out which article has been so you can see that here, I can see that the number of citations received by each articles across the time period. So likewise, you can see this article published in 2020, it has already got 1636 citations till now. So you can see that how quickly this article is going to be impactful for the research activities. Anyone who is working in coronavirus, they are very often cited this article in terms of literature. Okay, so this is just a quick review about all this information on this literature survey and fetching the data for the literature review. Scopus also gives you information to export the data on. It gives a lot of information about if you want to, you can export into the as a form of CSV or in form of BibTeX, in form of plain text or any other format, and it contains all the data related to these bibliographic field of the study. So this is just all the details about fetching the different data for literature review and helping our faculty and students so that they can go ahead with their research activity and compile theirs. So over to you, Dr. Raisa. I am sure that it is very comprehensive information on this.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Sri. That was really a comprehensive, exhaustive, and very in-depth discussion. Yeah, I think I got a bunch of questions here, but first and foremost, I'd like to highlight quickly the important key points that I was able to grasp broadly. So the first thing is that I like the idea that in literature review, you mentioned you don't get lost. The importance of literature is that you don't get lost in the sea of knowledge, in the deluge of information. So exactly, your topic is a very comprehensive detail of this. And I think there are a bunch of questions here. How are we gonna do this, Dr. Singh? I'm just going to, I think I have noted down 2 or 3. And then should we give the floor to those who raise the question? Would that be, we still have time? How should we, Dr. Singh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
In fact, we have Miss Harpreet Kaur. She has also noted down all the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So either you can ask the question or she can raise the question in front of the speaker.
Okay, so probably I'll just raise those that I was able to grasp from the chat room here. So yeah, one of the questions that was asked pretty much a bit from the most recent ones. The question is quite broad, but it says that how to find the right article or information. That was the first question that I have noted here a while ago. Somehow it has been answered comprehensively, but Dr. Sri probably he's talking about relevancy and accuracy of finding information. Would you like to elaborate on that aspect?
Yeah, so this is in fact very good, and it is quite common problem. So how to find out the relevant information on this? So I suggest everyone to plan your search strategy. So identify the relevant keywords on which you want to fetch the data from different data sources like Web of Science, Scopus, Bscohost, and then use Boolean operators, or use start with keyword searching in the title, and then it will going to give you a fair idea about how much article is published on a particular topic, which where the keyword is appearing in title. And thereafter you can expand your search strategy using the Boolean operators or using the different other fields as well, so that it will be able to comprehend the information which is already published and indexed in different part of the databases. And then you can summarize the you can judge the information based on your requirement. So going through the abstract, going through the title, going through the keywords, and then if you want to do some more information, then you can start combining the different other Boolean operators like proximity or any other criteria which is going to best fit for you to find the information.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shrey. Another here is a question from Mahesh Sanawani. The question is, what are available institutional paper in WAS? Specifically, institutional
publication in WAS. So what you have to do is use the organizational enhanced feature of the Web of Science and put your institution name there. And if any paper is available from your institution and that has been categorized under Web of Science enhanced organization category, it will certainly going to give you the information about all the papers which have been published from your institution. So Web of Science is somehow like it is little bit tedious to find out the very accurate information as compared to Scopus. I'm not this thing, but only thing is we have to be very some kind of previous knowledge about understanding about how indexing has been done into the Web of Science and indexing has been done in Scopus as well. So using enhanced organizational enhanced parameter is actually going to give you a good result for a particular institution.
Yeah, and I believe there are, I also saw personally, I also saw a bunch of institutional papers that are available. It's just that I think more of Scopus and Web of Science or WAS would have a very rigid way of accepting institutional papers. That's why it's quite rare. Before I give the floor to Tanu Ganguly, there's just one last question that I have seen here, which might be, you can still answer probably. The question is, what is your viewpoint of ETD and Sci-Hub? I'm not so sure if they refer ETD as just typical electronic database for thesis and dissertation or something else. But yeah, the participant is asking of what's your viewpoint and views of Sci-Hub and ETD?
So ETD is one of the most popular electronic and thesis databases, which is indexing a lot of theses available across the globe. And that is one of the good source of information if you are looking at a specific thesis, a specific research area on which thesis has been already submitted. So that is a good one. Sci-Hub, frankly speaking, it is a piracy only. So we have to understand that anything which is available in a pirated form, we should avoid.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Shree. I think Tanu Ganguly is raising his hand for our, can we give him the floor to ask his question?
I think it's better to type the question in chat box, so it will be better for us to.
Okay, sure.
We are just now going to out of time.
For the time ends, we only it's we only have like 2
Oh,
minutes. Is there any other thing here?
Passing.
Okay, so I think there's one question from Anuradha Roy. In ACT portal, okay, sorry, it's not. It's how to choose. Okay, same question, but you might have some input still here. There's a question on how to choose good journals in Scopus to publish the articles. I think you had mentioned this in when you talked about evaluating resources and reliability, but you might have some key points you wanted to say about that, Dr. Shri?
Yeah, so finding good source for publication is the journal analysis. Of course, if you analyze the journal section of the database, you will find that which are the key journals which have published most number of paper on a particular topic or particular discipline. So that gives a fair idea that that especially specify that that journal is publishing most number of paper. It means the relevancy factor is much higher than other journals. So that is one of the aspects. Second aspect is, suppose there are the journal analyzers. In last session, Dr. Suresh Jange has given the concept of analyzing journals where you can publish. So you can use those options also, putting your title, putting the abstract, and it will give you the idea how which are the key journals which publishes most number of which where your article can best fit for the publication. So that option students can analyze, and then they can decide that whether they are going to submit the paper into that journal or not.
Yeah, I think one last thing I'd like to clarify. There was one question, it keeps on being reiterated here, how to find literature for research. I think this whole concept that Dr. Shri has been discussing, from the topic on source of information for literature search, process of searching, he has even mentioned comprehensively and explained well about stage be sharing that, or unless Dr. Shri, I think this is the last question that I have here. It was just asking how to find literature for research, which is, I think that's the whole topic.
It's the whole thing, no? Whole topic was on that only. So how to find literature on a particular topic. So decide your keywords, decide your area, and choose some very specific keywords on a research topic. Go into the database, conduct a search, and then there is a huge list of references that can be used for your research.
Yeah. Whether we're using primary sources, secondary sources, or data, raw data, these are all the things, the same old procedures are applicable. It's really the same thing that I remembered. So I think, do we still have time, or should we proceed? I don't think you have further questions. So the last thing that I wanted to say is I thank Dr. Shri for this opportunity. And thank you for the very exhaustive walkthrough you have provided on various databases. But I still suggest to everyone, when you're doing research, it's always a first-hand experience that is very necessary. While the input is very comprehensive and it's very easy to follow, it's really amazing how you simplified the whole complex process of research and literature review, but it's really very helpful. For myself, I would really endorse some of your slides to my students in research. So Dr. Harsing, I think we are done with the questions here. I can see more than questions about how to get the attendance. And
so it's enough clarification about attendance and feedback. So please bear with us. It is not in our control. So attendance and feedback form will be appearing at the end of the workshop on day 5. So we are monitoring your Zoom attendance here. We will download all the details from Zoom platform and then compile and submit to the AICTE platform. So please don't bother about attendance, don't bother about feedback. Feedback link will appear on your login portal on AICTE on day 5. and all the attendance will be compiled at once and submitted to AICTE at the once the workshop is over. Okay, so this is one of the clarification from our side as an organization.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Dr. Sri. I think I should give the floor to Ms. Archanananda for the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. On behalf of our program organizing committee and my own behalf, I would like to thank you, Dr. Sriram sir, for taking initiative and organize this workshop and sparing time to prepare and present this session. Thank you, sir, for gracing the occasion with insightful thoughts on extraction of literature data from databases and analysis for research. As we all know, literature survey is the foundation of any research, and library services play a pivotal role in providing literature and academic writings for the researchers. Sir has very well explained the research cycle and the process of literature review. I hope that the contents will be useful for all of us. I would like to thank you, our moderator, Dr. Raisa Alenzuela, for her time and moderating the session in such a smooth manner. I would like to again thank you, ma'am, for taking up the questions so minutely and helping in resolving the queries of the participants. I would like to thank you, all the participants, for their keen interest and participation over here. Thank you all once again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Archana. In fact, so it is our institutional activity. So thank you so much, and thank you, Dr. Raisa. So over to the next session.
Okay. So we have a 10-minute break, and then we're going to proceed with the next session.
So we have a very short break. Maybe you can just go ahead with your tea or coffee. So sorry, Raisa, I can't offer you online coffee. So we have just short break, and Dr. Sanjay is already on board. So we'll going to start our session in another 5 minutes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.